They used to. All right, guys. So Kevin here with President Luke Winke, president of the Only Politics page.
Yes.
Is it a self-proclaimed title?
My micronation.
Yeah. So I want to look at these other podcasts. So right now my computer's rendering the podcast from this morning in 360 to put up online, so they have two. Because I don't want to eat up my CPU. The normal podcasts eat up a lot of CPU. This thing is actually freed up, so we're doing it on the 360. So this one will probably be up later tonight or tomorrow, but at least it'll be there. 45 minutes we could have done both again, but maybe start making that a thing. And once they get the bugs worked out of this, so I can actually use it on an Android, be able to just live stream it to YouTube while doing a normal podcast.
I want to know more about this thing.
So this thing is really cool. I mean, it's a local company. It's right in front of Archbishop Walsh, the 360 Rise company. So they're, I'm in love with this thing. It's just its potential and the idea of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's bugs to be worked out, but like as any new product,
It's still a homegrown product.
Exactly. And that's actually a kid from Buffalo came in today to get coffee, and I was telling him about it, and he's like, any new product is like that. He's like, I'm like, right, you know what I mean? Like, you get something brand new in the mail, and you're expecting it to be like that Apple iPhone. You know what I mean? Like, $20 billion dropped into this, you know what I mean? Like, the computer programmers and stuff on doing it, and
This is now cheap.
this is probably 1/4 the price of an iPhone.
We can 3D print them now.
Yeah, what's an iPhone? $1,000?
Yeah, mine was.
Yeah, about $1,000, right? So this thing is like $289. So this is like just about 1/4 of what an iPhone is. But it also doesn't have $1 million. You know what I mean? $1 million.
Probably cost a lot to build, but it's just, I mean, the fact that you said it's two cameras getting a 180 overlapping on each other.
Well, 210. So yeah,
I was expecting a circle. I was expecting a globe.
Yeah,
I was expecting a globular kind of camera shooting in all directions, but
yeah, no, and that's how we used to do it.
It's more simplistic than I thought.
Yeah, Mike developed these mounts and the software to render a bunch of cameras at once. He was Mike Kittner. He owns the 360 project, and a couple years ago he was having guys assemble mounts, and then they would mount GoPros or other types of high definition cameras onto these mounts, and then they would all record independently, and then you would plug them into a computer, and then the software that he developed would render all of them to create 360. So he was one of the pioneers in that, and now he's got them all under one roof, and you don't need 6 GoPros. Those units were like $3,500 because you had to get anywhere from 6. This was $289. But the bigger units, I mean, you got to think $100 for each GoPro. You know what I mean? You've got the bigger mounts had 12 GoPros on them in all directions. So you know what I mean, if you've got 12 GoPros, that's a minimum of
But this is way more simplistic, but they don't think of the simple things until later. You know, they make all the mistakes at first. And
right, yeah. I mean, you're working with the technology you got. He made a mount, and he had the program. You know what I mean?
Then
so now
you notice something. Oh, this could work better if we did this.
Right. And I know a lot of it is fell under like I always called it the video game rule, right? Like you are a video console. You can't buy a video like what was it? PlayStation came out with when they came out with the PS3. It was like, oh, we need $550. But people were like, well, screw you, I'm just going to switch over to Xbox because Xbox is under $300. And they learned that any product under $300,
make it cheaper.
Any product that you sell for under $300, whether you have to take a slight loss, you know what I mean, on a profit margin, you'll sell way more to the general public. Like, so PlayStation learned their lesson.
This will get cheaper.
Well, yeah, and that's why he kept it under $300. Like, there's a lot of features he didn't add. He could have added, like, I told him, like, better microphone. Like, down here, I've got this is a $150 Blue Yeti microphone.
What you should do is take videos, like, up in the woods or something, walking with people.
Yeah.
You think that would work? Could that be easy? Could that be easy to do that kind of thing?
What, to walk?
You know, because it's a 360 camera. We're in a room right now.
Right,
know?
So you're catching, like...
The first 360 video I ever saw was outside, and they were blowing something up with a fire.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you could do anything. Yeah. I did, there's a couple online on my Facebook page for one of my rental properties, and it's me walking through a friend's rental in Bradford. and I've got two different apartments. So I kind of go through, I discuss everything, and then you get to walk through. So if you've got like one of the Google glasses, you pop them on, and you can just look around. You can put it in VR mode, or you can just swipe with your phone.
Well, I'm just imagining a good environment. I mean, imagine doing your show in the woods, going up in the woods.
Yeah. I mean, with this camera, you can go anywhere as long as you have. So that's where I would almost need an iPhone, because you have to be able to simultaneously link, because this phone, it doesn't link through Bluetooth, it links through Wi-Fi.
As a hotspot or something. You have to have Wi-Fi. Yeah, you'd have to be near.
You would have to, you can't, because you can't link two Wi-Fis at the same time on your phone. It's not like Bluetooth where you can link two Bluetooths. But with Apple, you can you can hook up to your data or Wi-Fi, and if your Wi-Fi loses internet, you can still be connected to it, but it'll get to the internet still through your data. Where the Androids don't do that. You're on Wi-Fi, you're on Wi-Fi. Your data is disabled until you unhook from a Wi-Fi spot. So that's where we're running into problems with live streaming this thing with an Android. But essentially, I've got a Mophie here, Mophie. This thing gives this like 12 hours of battery life, and it itself has, it's got a 45-minute battery if it's running. So I mean,
do your subscribers buy this thing?
One of them
any
did.
of them bought it? One of them bought it?
One of them actually bought it because I was messing around with it last night.
I think they should give you a commission for talking about it during your videos.
We're working on an affiliate program.
The first 10 minutes of your videos are talking about the equipment.
It's new technology, man. Everybody's loving this thing. So, and we're hyped up about it. You know what I mean? And 6 months from now, it'll die off, and all my videos will be in 360. And then, like, people that are new to the podcast will be like, "What is that thing?" And we'll briefly talk about it. But like last night, me and Miley tested it on her. We did a bunch of tests last night on the product, and then we put one of the videos up on YouTube to see how it would go up, and it automatically went up as a panoramic video. So like, kind of like when you stretch a globe out and put it on a map on a flat piece of paper, you just got this like boop, 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 and it just ends. And so we did that, and one of my subscribers, who's also a client of mine and a neighbor at one of my properties, he was like, "Hey Kevin, I bought one of those already. I'm so excited." And I was like, "Yeah, me too." Blah blah blah. And I sent him a link to the 360 rendering that we did of an apartment. He's a real estate agent, so that's.
I'd like to know how long it takes to make these. Imagine if there's like a factory for these things.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure that. So like there's. I believe.
Like, does that company?
I believe the motherboards. I believe almost all the products are made in the U.S. There's all the components.
So that place in front of Walsh doesn't make them there.
They assemble them. I don't believe they assemble them there, but they assemble them in Olean. I don't know the other properties.
They don't make the parts from start. Okay.
They take all. Mike worked with like the engineers to make the motherboard that he was looking for, and then he ordered the cameras to the specs that he was looking for, and he ordered the housings that were custom made by a company that does plastic and grip work. And then, assembly screws, getting the custom mounts made. That's the live streaming mount, so you can have the bottom open and it still attaches. There's other ones that have like you can attach to the GoPro, like the typical like 3-prong, 2-prong overlap with a set screw in the center. So he's got all those. And this one is the one that came with it, the 360 Rise, little flexible tripod. Yeah. So like, now obviously he ordered a lot of those, and then all the components of the camera itself get assembled here in Olean. I don't know if it's in front of Walsh or one of the other properties the company owns, but they assemble all of them locally, and I believe from what I talked to Mike, almost all the parts, maybe the lenses or something are made in China, but from the most part, most of it's made in the United States, which is another selling point.
So this is I wanted to talk about my family. My great-great-grandfather invented something here in town.
Oh yeah?
The gas shutoff valve. Did you know when you're pumping gas and it turns itself off when it's too full?
Was he the cause for it to be?
That little feature was patented by my great-great-grandfather Corson.
Oh. Yeah. Not
you can Google this information. It's
okay. Just making sure that all right. So it wasn't like he actually ignited at a pump, and it was like kind of like Megan's Law, like Megan or not Megan's Law. What's that?
Wow, what a great mistake! I'm gonna patent this. No,
I know. What is it? Melissa's Law, Amber's Law, Amber Alert. So no, I think it's Megan's Law.
Amber
so because each one of these is named after a child who died or got abducted or died or whatever. So Megan's Law. was, I believe, the one where
did this happen because of a big tragedy that happened?
Right. Megan died of I believe it was Megan. She died of carbon monoxide inhalation, which created the national Megan's Law.
I don't know why he made it, but he invented it.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like Luke Winky's grandpa's law, and so all pumps are required to have this piece of technology spawn because your grandfather got caught on fire in a pump.
Nobody died. He just, I don't know, maybe he wanted to save money.
Maybe.
But there's like a Times Herald article about it. Just Google Google gas shutoff valve Olean. It's my great grandma Winky's dad. Corson is the last name.
So Olean's also famous for. People keep saying it's the first high school shooter.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But I mean,
first
done research.
Publicized. I mean,
maybe because there's ones that date back to like the 1870s where like people brought their muzzle loaders into school and like.
This town ain't big enough. The school ain't big enough for.
Right, yeah, Yosemite Sam somebody, right? Like so. I don't. So like to those out there
school
who want,
shooter jokes.
Yeah. And then you've got the other. Which other thing that's famous for Olean? You've got the guy who played the Lawnmower Man, the movie The Lawnmower Man. The main character, the guy who's like the Charlie, the Flowers for Algernon guy.
Of course, the guy from World War II. That movie. What's his name? There was a movie about a guy from World War II, and he was jogging at the end of the movie.
That's not the Lawnmower Man.
Well,
the Lawnmower Man was just a special.
Well, no, this is another
guy.
movie. Like in the past few years, someone that was in World War II, and he was captured in Japan. And see, while we're talking about something I don't even know, no, there's a World War II hero from World War II hero from Olean. And they made a movie in the past 4 or 5 years.
Oh.
And he was captured in Japan. Louis something. And this is not ringing a bell to you. Look it up. Someone will comment it. It's a movie.
Okay.
The guy that wrote Silver Bells was from Salamanca.
Silver Bells?
Yeah.
That?
Ray Evans was from Salamanca.
Okay. So there's a lot of history in this town.
There's plenty of history in the area. People don't know about it. It's a well-kept secret around here.
So, yeah, so 360 camera, we're loving it. The rendering times, because of working out some bugs, are taking a while. Like I've got 3 hours into this rendering from this morning, just so I can spatially organize it, and then I'm sure it's going to be like an hour to upload. So you get about 4 or 5 hours. It's just wait time. Like I can set this to do it, but my laptop's eating up to 3 hours.
Do you think you could 360 city council meetings?
Hey man, I've been pushing for it. I know Paul Gonzalez's name's on the docket for like pushing to have
any camera.
Yeah, right. Like live streaming our council meetings.
Imagine this though: city council and then the crowd.
Yeah, you can see who's there. I mean, it's public. I mean, this is a great idea.
Watching Scott the Human 360 and then watching your reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Paul brought it up, and I was just doing my YouTube podcast at that time when he brought it up. I said, that's a freaking amazing idea. What do you guys need? Like, I could have set the whole council up with everything we needed, like live broadcast software and the whole thing, and just falls by the wayside, you know what I mean? Because they want to, we have to use we have to use certain companies, and we have to, and it's like, no, I can, you can.
You guys got to pass a motion? Do you got to pass a motion to do it?
We got to budget the money first.
Okay.
You budget the money, and then you
can't just donate your own camera.
No, yeah, you can't. But the setup of it, it's almost like each one of these cameras. You don't even need. This is a good one, but right up here is like one of the. That's a $50 camera. So you get 7 councilmen, each one on a camera, and then you do the live broadcast software. The most expensive part would be the laptop or the desktop. You need something with, good CPU and processing speed to be able to just kind of it's got to capture all 7 of those cameras plus the audience plus maybe the mayor. You could limit it to probably maybe 3 cameras. You know what I mean? So you catch everybody or 2 cameras. You know what I mean? So that's going to eat down a lot less on the CPU speed, but still that's. You might have $2,000 because the laptop would probably cost the most amount of money, but the rest of it, you get a couple of these microphones, or the city already has a switchboard. We've got all the microphones and a relay. All you need to do is just get an adapter to go into a computer to receive it. Like an audio capture jack.
I think this company should give you commission. The hype about the product.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I don't need to be sponsored by somebody to be hyped about a product. Which I've been watching a lot of Joe Rogan early podcasts, and he was sponsored by the Fleshlight, which I never knew.
Really?
Yeah, the flashlight, the flashlight you have sex with. You know what I mean, like that.
Yeah.
And I was telling somebody, I was like, I should write farmersonly.com to see if they'll donate $10 to me, and then I'll have a sponsor, because then I can sing their theme song.
There's a lot of single farmers around here. Then we'll plug them out, and then we'll show their picture.
Yeah.
And then we'll give a review of the farmers.
Then I can copyright aside. I can sing their chant on my thing.
Yeah.
Right now,
We are farmers. Bum, bum, bum. Oh wait, wrong one.
Yeah, wrong one. Well, stuff like that's copyrighted, and then it gets flagged, and all of a sudden they're like,
"Jeez, oh, there goes that video."
Yeah, right.
Well, because they made us a little singing right there.
Yeah. Might have to take it down, render it, and re-render it, and then take it down. But yeah.
So.
What's this yellow jacket movement?
Yellow vest.
Yellow
movement.
jacket?
Well, it's a bunch of bees flying around.
Wasps, I believe.
Yeah. Well, at first I was not knowing what to think about it in France. They were protesting the gas taxes, so this is the Paris Accord not working out very well.
Paris Accord.
The Paris Accord, the environmental thing that Trump did not want to be a part of.
Okay.
The big agreement, you don't know much about it, it's the agreement between all the countries saying we're going to try and combat climate change, we're going to tax gas. Okay, so...
And it's like a coalition of...
Gas in France was recently like $7 a gallon of our money. $7 a gallon because of these taxes. And it's to combat climate change. Okay, well, people don't like that. I mean, we live in an age where people need cars. So people were protesting. I mean, they're still protesting these gas taxes. But when I was listening, it didn't seem to have much of a hierarchy or structure. I saw some people tipping over really nice cars because they don't like wealth. They don't like signs of wealth. It's like, well,
Jordan Peterson talked about this.
It's like, well, this is now anti-free market, and we're protesting taxes. It didn't make sense. I didn't agree with it.
It becomes more simplistic than that. Like a lot of people reference, like Jordan Peterson, and a lot of other people reference the Russians, the Russian, the bourgeoisie, and you know what I mean. Like the farmers were killing other farmers just because they had like one more plow spare wheel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? One more plow blade.
Jealousy, emotions are like that. They don't know.
When your society is on a decay, that's like one of the earlier signs that like it's usually a tipping point too. It's just
logic doesn't really go well.
You kill your neighbor because he's got he's got a sharper plow blade than you. You know what I mean? Like you kill the rich guy because he's got way more money than you. But eventually you end up you work your way down to the point that like literally like if somebody done. Like there's just like there's just mass murders and chaos and things like that in countries that it's historic data, and you got people now are talking about that,
But that's what France was about. So of course they inspired the rest of the world to copy or at least think about doing something.
But that's so they got people like tipping over cars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there were videos of people setting nice cars on fire because it's a symbol of wealth, and we don't like that. Because Emmanuel Macron is president of France,
okay,
and he's like the rich president. He's the president of the wealthy.
He's about to get himself Mussolini, then, huh? They're going to hang him up in a meat locker.
He has a different perception than Trump. Trump in this country is like the working class people.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Emmanuel Macron, when you tax average people, that does not make you common people friendly president. Mm-hmm. Trump is trying to cut taxes, at least, but. That's what's going on in France.
So
now it's happening.
So they joined this coalition. The United States didn't jump on with it.
It's not a coalition. It's more. All it takes is one person to say, "Oh, I want to do this too. Come follow me, everybody." It's just that the yellow vests are a symbol of anti-government. It's a symbol of that.
Oh, and they're fighting. They're fighting the.
It resonates with a certain demographic.
All right. Now I got you. All right, I thought you were saying that they wear these to promote what France has done, and it's such a great thing. No, they're protesting against.
It just happens to be that France's cause is their gas taxes are really bad. So the anti-government thing. Well, our biggest problem is gas taxes. So this protest was mostly because of gas taxes.
And so in the United States, you could say that like.
Well, now in New York City, there's going to be one,
Is it because of gas taxes?
No, it's because of the Federal Reserve. They want to end the Fed. I'm sure you've heard this argument before.
The Federal Reserve, arguments on this stuff. People change their minds every day.
So. The Federal Reserve will charge interest rates on money, and it causes inflation. So
then what the rest of the government says, because they listen to the bleeding hearts from minimum wage workers, and they say, well, you need to raise minimum wage, and then that causes inflation at astronomical levels.
Well, like the national debt is really just interest on interest on interest.
The more we
really don't owe $21 trillion. We just charge interest on everything. Who knows how much we really owe? You know. But so now in New York City they want this. Now they want to somehow break through to China. And, it's a very protected country. They want to speak to average people in China who may have a little more pull than others. Speak to China, introduce the Yellow Vest movement, it's anti-government, and get them to go against their social credit scores. You've read about the social credit scores?
No, Luke.
I
work all day.
Guess I read a lot.
I can't. Yeah, no, you read a lot. I mean, well, see,
city councilman doesn't even pay attention to the world.
There's a lot of shit that goes on, man. And then just trying to keep.
Okay, social credit score. This is okay, you know about China's one-child policies that it used to have, right?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, and that people were killing their daughters because they wanted men, right?
Yeah. The social credit score is worse. A social credit score. They have cameras everywhere that can recognize your face, right? And even based on simple movements like how you walk, or what you're wearing, or what you're spending your money on, or if you're like sitting on a bus like this, not giving room for other people. Everyone has a social credit score that's coming by 2021 or something.
In China?
Yes.
Or just across the United States?
No, China.
Just China.
This is China. And it rates these people based on their behavior. It's a way to encourage behavior. If you donate blood, you get a higher social credit score, But it's the
things that are deemed by one person to be better value.
It is the extreme techno regulation of individuality that, of course, makes this horrible.
But that sounds like China.
It sounds like China. Yeah.
Sounds like China.
It sounds like China. But so, basically, if your social credit score goes low,
the United States is all about individuality. Yeah. China was more
the
like
rest of the world is. Yeah.
China was always.
Hive-minded. I don't know.
No, they were always like be in the hive mentality. Mm-hmm. So I could see why all of a sudden, with the invention of the internet, individuality got introduced to their country, and people are starting to like it. But at a core, their whole entire mechanism of government is designed on the be in the hive, and everyone's got a place, and you do your work, and blah blah blah. And
they think about others; they don't think about themselves.
so they're going to the extreme to hold on to what their society is based on, and then. I mean, we can pick at it because it doesn't replicate anything that goes with American values, but at the same time,
they've been pacified so much that they really have no way to uprise and go against it. They all live in cities. When you live in a city, you really don't have that sense of self. I think when you're always around people, you've always got to be
melting pot. You become if you hang out with three people, guess what? All three of you end up becoming like the same each other.
The same, yeah.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. You'll mock each other, but it becomes like your mocking of the other one becomes your personality.
Right. Yeah. That's a human trait. That's not a
yeah. So if your social credit score goes low enough, you can't take a plane to. You can't fly. You can't buy this.
Yeah, because you're an unsavory individual.
Yeah.
Like I see the idea behind it. I don't think that would work in America with our Constitution and
Well, nobody would want it, but
nobody would want it. I mean, shit. If it's going to happen in China, we'll see how it pans out. I think it'll be fun. We're the outsiders looking in, man. That's their system.
Yeah, they don't.
It's their system. It's not our job to go police them. Like we have enough fucking shit at home that we have to deal with. Like. I don't mind using that like a Netflix show and saying, "Oh, look at all these other countries." You know what I mean? If they're doing something that's really, you know what I mean, that we could piggyback off of.
How bad our problems are. I mean, France, $7 gas. China, social credit score. What's our bug?
If you watch this morning's podcast, me and Tim were talking about our welfare crisis.
Everybody's on welfare.
Everybody's on welfare. We talked about that this morning. I thought we'd talk about that.
Don't you have a heart? Don't you want to care about people?
I'm tired of caring about people. I care about people all day long, every day, and then I have to give my tax dollars to go care about people.
Private charity works better. Charity works better.
I don't think.
Why should we donate? Okay, this is causes a stir. Why should we donate to food pantries when SNAP? And we know what SNAP is.
Yeah.
Why should we donate to food pantries when SNAP gives out like over $1,000 per month for small families?
Right. Yeah.
I think my food.
Yeah.
is,
What's the average individual? Like $200 a month, and if you got, you start like.
I can go off like $60 a month for food. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny. Like I take my protein and I take my milk and I add some vitamins and I just make them into little milk protein balls and I just eat them and I can eat like 6 a day. And
that's all I need. And then I roast in the sun like a plant.
Yeah, there you go.
I go off chlorophyll. No,
eating the rat here and there.
I eat like pasta. I eat a lot of crap food actually.
Well, that's how you can make it go for it.
I do weigh myself. I was 149 today.
Jesus Christ.
I'm 5'8", 149.
I stopped drinking and I was always at like 190 and then like all of a sudden my metabolism started slowing down. I'm 6 foot.
I'm 6 foot.
Yeah, my metabolism started slowing down and I ended up having like gaining weight and every time I would go to the doctor it's like, Kevin, you're 205 and I was like, fuck. And I dropped back down to 190, but then I was like 210. And I want to say I maxed out at like 214. And now I'm back down to 190 because I stopped, you know what I mean? I cut back significantly on drinking after not drinking for an entire month. I want to say I dropped down to 180 after not drinking. I lost like 30 pounds. I was like, holy shit. Gravity is not affecting me as much anymore. Like, I can float.
I was 190 and I did not want to hit 200 pounds. I was like, oh my God. This is like the beginning of.
So you lost 50?
Yeah. I lost 40, 50 pounds, yeah. Just by kind of looking at my stepmother's Muslim and she fasts and she's talking about Ramadan and there's like an actual
Ramen to Ramadan.
Yes.
Is that?
She doesn't eat. Well, I mean not just her, but when you don't eat, your stomach isn't always digesting, so your body will focus the bioelectricity elsewhere in your body. So it's like your body can kind of fix itself.
Yeah. So your body has higher absorption
like
levels of calcium.
The 3 meals a day thing we live off of in this country is it's consumerism.
Right.
You don't need 3 meals. Honestly, I
have one. I have like 1, maybe 2 meals a day. Yeah. But I also eat like a racehorse. So like I'll just I have time for breakfast. Okay, boom, an entire shelf in the refrigerator is gone. Like 4 pounds of food, and then I won't eat.
You move a lot, so your body.
I won't be hungry until later than I usually eat dinner. Like that's the one consistent meal, and the rest is like little peanuts here or something. You know what I mean? I'll go home and I'll just like crush something, and then if I get a chance to. Some days I just all I have is dinner, but then I'll eat like 2 shelves in the refrigerator for dinner, and I know that's probably. But like at the same time, like your body acts that way because you got to think like sometimes you could be like a cow on a farm, and other days your body is reacting to like you can train your body to be more like a wolf. Like, hey, son, I didn't kill anything for the last, you know what I mean, like 2 weeks, but my body is like slowly
it's that
using.
Episode of South Park where Eric Cartman is like pinned to the cross, and it takes him a year to die because he's so fat.
Yeah. You got 5 more minutes with me, Luke.
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
What did we talk about for the first 20? The camera.
We talked about the camera. Yeah, we did talk about the camera. And I have a feeling that's
talking about the camera like that's what they want to hear about. I hope they buy the camera at least if they're going to watch.
Yeah, tell them you heard about it on Life22. Not that I have any kind of affiliate program.
I heard about it on Life22. Actually, I didn't. I heard about it years ago. But they should buy this particular brand off Life22.
Yeah.
So it'll give them an incentive to give you a money, you know.
They got more views than me. Pass me some of their audience.
I got more. I got a lot of views.
So we got 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
We'll have to plan a different podcast because I know we want to talk about your family lineage. And I'd like to get more into like I heard the economy in Olean, because we keep having people flood into this area, and I touched on this morning with Tim.
Yeah, I was talking to John Crawford. I talked to you and John. I just enjoy
people are moving into this area because
which is good.
Because our county has an abundance of welfare. like other bigger areas.
How about a yellow vest movement towards the county building?
Well, so we have a lot of welfare, and so what happens is that like dollars that haven't been utilized yet. So like other counties are sending people our way, and so we get this big influx of more people that don't want to work. And
So this is the welfare crisis you're talking about.
so, well, that's part of it because it leads into this next part. Now, housing is scarce.
Yeah. So rent goes up, and then
Rent goes up because that's scarcity, that's free market, that's economics, and then from there, what happens is there's a yellow vest movement apparently for
the county building.
there's yellow vest movement against landlords because they're talking about what was it?
How big is this movement?
Oh, it's probably very small. But I'm just saying. I mean,
It's like a mosquito that just flies around.
yeah, but so was the Genesis House topic. I mean, like there was people that were against it, people that were for it, and there was like just a small movement on either side. Like there was small coalition of forces.
Nobody else has anything going on in their life, so this little thing over here becomes.
They want to create like what is it? The rental. What do they call that? The Housing Act of. There was it wasn't the Fair Housing Act, but there was like the Rent Stabilization Act or something that was enacted in like New York City, and people like it failed miserably. It was literally to protect a handful of like senior citizens that were in their apartments, and it was rent control. Like they wanted to make sure that these.
It doesn't do anything. Rent control doesn't do anything. It's like a sign that these people should go somewhere else.
Right, if you can't afford this.
Look at New York City. New York City has rent laws like up the ass, right?
Yeah.
If they allowed the landlords to bump up the prices, maybe these decent people would move to places like this around here, and then the landlords in New York City could fix their apartments. You know, they can only do so much work if they're only making so much.
Right, no,
You know what I mean? That's how you get rid of slumlords. Allow them to raise the price if the market goes up.
Right, yeah,
You know?
because then if the price is up, all you're going to get is quality tenants because their dollar means something to them. If you're spending $1 for an apartment, your apartment is probably going to be garbage. First off, and you're not going to care about it. You're not going to care about your dollar. You're going to care a shit ton about an apartment you're paying $1,200 a month for.
And if you can't afford it, then you're going to go somewhere else where you can afford and your quality of life.
And then you can slowly increment. You can't just like one day just wake up and be like, I'm going to afford $1,200 a month in rent. No, you're going to start out at a $400 apartment. You're not going to like a year later move into
These
a $1,200.
people that, like you say, like not good quality tenants, they will become good quality tenants if they live somewhere they can afford. You know.
Possibly,
If you allow people
possibly.
to kind of,
But you also have to just reinstill work ethic. And that was something we talked about
But
this
then
morning.
again, there's some people that look at this as their home and they don't want to just move. Because
Right,
rent
and you
goes
can,
up.
hey, like the landlord doesn't want to paint it because maybe the paint isn't failing. This wall is fine. You know what I mean? It doesn't need a paint job. But I don't like the color. Well, I'm going to paint it. I ask the landlord's permission. I paint the wall because I want to make this my home, and I don't like tan. I like blue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's, you know what I mean? Within reason, as long as it's not like, hey, I want orange window trim, like, you know, something ridiculous. Like, I mean, most landlords are pretty copacetic if you're going to paint and not damage the place. You know what I mean? Because you want it to make it look like your home.
So are these people coming to Lake Council and going off about rent?
I have a feeling, council meeting tonight, I have a feeling we're going to get something. We're going to get something about, like, rent control and how we have to, more bleeding hearts. We have to help all the people. We have to help it. You know what? Fuck, man.
How about, like, it's never occurred to me to go to government and, like, I need help. Like, you know, it's like, what can
You did
I,
that
what
one
can I
time.
do? I did?
Yeah.
What did I do?
The light doesn't blink red at tops.
Yeah, government's in my way. No, but it's like, what can you do about your situation, people? You know, there's a lot of good jobs around here. Truck driving, nursing, they pay you to take CNA classes.
They do.
You know, and nobody does it. They all work in, you know, whatever. That's right, I did complain about that traffic light.
You did complain about it.
It's an inconvenient light at night.
The pizza delivery guy has spoken.
John's like, come to council. He's like, come to council. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what to talk about. Oh, I don't like that traffic light. So I went and talked about the traffic light. and it was a mediocre issue. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah, but
at least I got to speak.
It's better than some of the stuff that like the human brings up. I mean, the human will bring up like the same thing over and over again, and it's like
they act like they're small people. They act like they're in the crowd. I'm over here, and they act like that. You guys don't remember them. You know what I mean?
You remember them?
Think of their.
You remember them, and like Scott brought up a good point. Like our infrastructure needs replaced, but we've been dealing with that on a 5-year capital plan, and like you get so much done in 5 years, and you get a plan for the next 5 years, and it's all about planning. It's not like, hey, we're gonna go find this money tomorrow and do a $2 billion project. Like, no, every city street at the same exact time, we're going to call Magneto down here from X-Men and just iron lines out. And where those lines blew out of the earth, we're going to have a whole bunch of guys real quick with plastic lines that are sleeved and, nice and brand new fittings.
Hey, you know it's important, but...
It is important, but it's not happening tomorrow.
I'm thinking about their perception. They look at themselves as these smaller people. I'm over here. It's like they remember, they know you, okay? They talk about you.
Let's see here. Sorry.
We probably went over the 5 minutes.
We did go over the 5 minutes.
Talking about the camera for a third of the time. Let's just talk about other stuff next time.
And it just beeped again? It beeps it because every like 3.5. Yeah. Oh, it's got a blue light on? Oh, it means it's fully charged. So what happens is it drops down to a certain percentage. It's pulling off the Mophie. Mm-hmm. And then it recharges itself.
We can do another video this week if you want. Or... Okay.
Yeah. I'm floating around. So, yeah. So Life22, me and Luke are clocking out because I got to go get little Quinn from school. And Luke...
I got to return curtains to my pole dojo. I'm going to get new curtains. I bought the wrong color. I bought a really crappy color and I just don't like it. So I'm going to go get new curtains.
Did you buy them local? Like the curtain warehouse or something?
I bought them at Walmart.
Walmart. Well, Luke, yeah, screw the big box store. Get them. All right, guys. Well, don't forget to subscribe and like. And if you haven't already joined Only in Politics, plug out to Luke's page.
There's really no centralized conversation these days. If you have something to say, get in there and post and talk about it.
Yep.
Free speech, but we don't take. We're getting sick of the personal attacks, so
Unless you want to like take dick pics and send them on there. Luke's promoting dick pics on his. Just whatever you got, just just drop trow and snap a photo, upload it right to Luke's page.
Only on dick pics.
Luke's starting a new page. The following has changed. They don't care about politics anymore. They just want dick pics.
We're done with that subject. The election's over, so.
All right, guys. We'll check you later.
See you next time.
Button's over here somewhere.